Hello everyone. Today we'll look about another topic in the paper for Unit 1, that is thermal methods, where we'll be talking about different techniques in thermal methods that can be used. Right. So the basic principle in any thermal method is that the sample that is being analyzed is heated at a constant heating rate, and a particular property is measured with respect to this heating rate. That is a property like a change in weight, change in size, or heat flow, or temperature, or kind of gas evolved. That is, such kind of things are measured. So we'll be looking into basic three kind of methods now, that is TGA, DSC, and DTA. The different techniques that are existing is thermometric titrations, which is slightly different from all other thermal methods, where actually there is no heating is required, but the heat generated during a reaction is studied. So this is thermometric titration. But all other experiments or other methods are where there is a sample is heated in a heating furnace, like thermomechanical analysis, dynamic mechanical analysis, differential scanning, calorimeter, thermogrammetric analysis, differential thermal analysis, temperature program desorption methods, and all those things. So you can find a whole list of classification of thermal methods, right, and the kind of abbreviation used for each method with the property that is being measured in all cases. Like in thermogrammetric analysis, a TG or TGA, the change in mass is analyzed with respect to the temperature. Differential thermal analysis, where temperature difference is measured. Differential scanning calorimetry, the power, the heat flow is measured in the DSC experiment. As I already told, thermometric titration is a slightly different one, where whatever the heat change is there in the sample when two samples are reacted together, that is being measured. It is basically for acid-base titrations or non-aqueous titrations or redox. All other titrations can be carried out in this particular thermometric titrations kind of thing, right? Then there are other like thermomechanical analysis, where change in the substance is being analyzed, dimensional changes. Dynamic mechanical analysis also is there. Dielectric functions can be calculated based on dielectric thermal analysis, where electrical properties are changing based upon temperature. Whatever the evolved gas is analyzed, that is comes under evolved gas analysis, right? There are very less few which are less frequently used, that is the change in sound with respect to temperature, thermosonimetry, thermoluminescence, where light emitted by a luminescent substance, how it changes with respect to temperature, and thermomagnetometer, the magnetic property, how it changes with temperature. This is a basic component of any thermal method except for the thermometric titration, where you have an heating furnace where a controlled heating process is carried out using a programmed system. You have sensors, two sensors. One is to sense the temperature change occurring there, and the other one is the property that has been measured. For that, a particular sensor is being used, and you have a sample holder which is kept in the furnace and which undergoes heat changes and that property changes. And these two are connected to a data processor which determines the temperature changes with respect to the temperature of the furnace. So in a thermogrammetric analysis, the TJ principle is that it determines the mass change of a sample as a function of temperature or time. It's a very good analytical instrument technique where quality assurance can be used. It is used in quality control and quality assurance. Study of variety of chemical processes is studied in this, which accompanies mass changes. Right? So this is a major component of a thermogrammetric analysis. So this technique measures the variation in the mass of a sample undergoing temperature scanning in a controlled atmosphere. So the sample is kept in a balance pan, which is in a heating furnace, which is under a controlled atmosphere. Inert atmospheric gas is used, where the sample doesn't undergo any changes, or if reaction has to be taken, then oxygen or air is used. So the furnace is used for heating the sample, and the changes in the sample, weight change in the sample is measured by the balance which is kept out of the furnace. So the sample is isolated from the furnace kind of thing, right? So the basic block diagram or component of a thermogrammetric analysis is this way. So the basic component includes the balance, the furnace, which is the heating device, the temperature measurement and control program, the recorder which records the temperature changes, and the furnace temperatures kind of thing, right? The main component, we already said, it is a balance, but there are two types of balance. One is called as the null type balance, another one is the deflection type balance. The null type balance is where when the sample undergoes change in weight, a particular force is applied back to the sample pan to restore it back to its original mass value. So how much of force is applied, that is equivalent to the mass change. So the balance is restored to its null position. That's why it is called as null type, and the force applied is equivalent to the mass change, so that is detected. In case of deflection type, whatever mass changes occur, that causes deflection in the sensor, so that is converted into electric current, and the amount of electric current is equal to the mass kind of thing, right? The furnace that is used will have a heating range of minus 150 degrees Celsius to 2000 degrees Celsius, and the temperature measured here, that is how the temperature is controlled, is using a thermocouple which is made up of either chromium and aluminum or platinum and rubidium thermocouple, right? The graph that is plotted, that is the mass change versus the temperature graph is plotted, and that is obtained in inverted sigmoidal curve. This is called as TG curve, right? This is the instrument, older instrument, where you can see the balance is hanging through the sample pan is hanging through a balance inside a furnace, which is having a gas inlet and outlets and water jacket for cooling, right? And it is a completely sealed or isolated system kind of thing. This is a thermogram that is obtained by a plot of mass change versus temperature, right? So this is called as thermogram. The derivative graph, that is a difference in mass, initial mass by mass change by that with respect to the temperature, the derivative mass and the temperature, this is called as the DTG, differential thermogrammetry, DTG. So it is just the differential graph that you are plotting, that is called as DTG graph, right? So thermogram and differential thermogram. So what you can see is there is a, whenever there is a mass change, there is this fall in the curve, a steep slope is seen, and in case of DTG you see a sharp peak at the same region there. So here's an example with respect to calcium carbonate, a thermogram of calcium carbonate. So this thermogram can be used to analyze the characteristic of a compounds if the stoichiometry involved in decomposition is known to us. So we know that calcium carbonate decomposes into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So based upon the mass changes, the percentage mass changes, we can see how much of the pure substance is present in the sample based upon the percentage mass change. So if you see this particular thermogram, there are two curves, thick curve and a daughter curve, that is B and C. So it is at different temperature heating rates, that is 10 degrees Celsius per minute heating curve or 3 degrees Celsius heating curve. And this A curve shows the DTG one. So you can see initial small change, a drop in mass value here, so that corresponds to any water molecule that is adsorbed onto the calcium carbonate. So because it shows very less change in values there, right? Then you have a very steep fall in the curve. A steep slope here is seen, which corresponds to around let's say 44%, that corresponds to loss of carbon dioxide from the substance. So so if the 44% mass change is determined, so how much of mass change is occurring there, by that you can calculate the percentage purity of the substance also. This is another example of calcium oxalate, where calcium oxalate undergoes decomposition in a stepwise manner. First absorbed water is lost, then the water of crystallization is lost, Then oxalate converts into calcium carbonate, losing carbon monoxide, and the calcium carbonate form loses another carbon dioxide molecule to give you the residual calcium oxalate. So at the end, whatever weight you get is of calcium oxalate. And this is the TG curve that you get for calcium oxalate. So what you can see here is the calcium oxalate initially losing water molecules, right, at around 100 and 150 degrees Celsius. Then calcium oxalate loses around 200 degrees Celsius. In between that, it loses the carbon monoxide to give you calcium carbonate, right? So here you lost a calcium, you lose carbon monoxide. So that is around 28 mass percentage change, and this calcium carbonate decomposes into calcium oxide by losing carbon dioxide. That occurs around a temperature of 500 to 700 degrees Celsius. So at different atmosphere, it can give slightly varied curves kind of thing, right? So the major important curve that we are looking into is the decomposition of calcium oxalate to convert into calcium carbonate, releasing carbon dioxide. So that gives you the major peak, and then the next is calcium carbonate decomposing into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. This is a curve for that with the DTG, showing the peaks, overlapping peaks of TG with DTG. This is another thermogram where polymer substance are analyzed. So each polymer will have its own characteristic decompositions. So every polymer will decompose at different temperatures and will give a residual weight based upon their composition. So every polymer can be analyzed based upon this thermograms, and their percentage can also be calculated. The purity can be also be calculated based on the thermogram. This is a thermogram for a polythene, where it is useful to determine the percentage of carbon black, right? So here it shows how much of carbon black is left out. So carbon black is a substance which is doesn't undergoes further decomposition, and it is a residual of the polythene. So how much of carbon black is present, that can be calculated, and how much of polythene is present, it can be measured based upon that. There are various applications. There is a whole list of applications of thermogrammetric analysis. You can calculate the purity of the sample, thermal stability, solid state reactions, decompositions, determination of composition of mixtures, quantitative analysis you can do. Corrosion of metals in various atmospheres can be analyzed. Pyrolysis of coal, petroleum and wood is also carried out to know the various petroleum components. Roasting and calcination of minerals can be done. Evaluation of gravimetric precipitates, oxidative and reductive stabilities of the samples in different atmospheres can be calculated. Determining moisture, volatile and ash contents, desolvation, how much of sublimation, vaporization is there. All those things can be calculated or measured or determined using a thermogrammetric analysis. Polymetric substances can also analyzed to determine their kind of chain, main chain breaking or side chain breaking, or elimination or depolymerization that is occurring. So that will give its thermal stability as well as the route by which the polymers can degrade, kind of thing. Thank you for listening. Next we will look into